Welcome back to Stuff or Whatever podcast. Your host, Brian Obiquanchi here. In this week's episode, I wanted to talk more about YouTube. More specifically, what I watch on YouTube. I do feel like watch a lot of or listen to a lot of YouTube these days. A lot of it is, I feel like, is good background noise too, but just wanted to talk about channels I follow, subscribe, watch. Maybe even get into channels I used to watch, like some of my habits. So, have a fun way to just blurb about YouTube and some of these channels you might have heard of, some maybe not, and you might learn something new or find a new channel you might be interested in. So just kind of sharing some of my interests as well when it comes to the YouTube world. So I thought this would be a good idea to just kind of like blurb and talk about this or that. So pretty much I just have my YouTube account pulled up. I'm just kind of going down a list. There's no specific order. I'm not sure how YouTube does it. I think maybe the channels you watch more frequently kind of show up at the top, but the first channel I wanted to talk about, I do watch a few Let's Plays, which is this first one is Only Plays. So that's has the main guy Chris O'Neill and friends do that. I kind of watch a little bit of older stuff. I'm trying to think how old the channel was before I really discovered and watched it, but I are aware of Chris O'Neill with his other works like his Newgrounds work on cartoons and parodies and stuff like that. So I did really like his humor, his animation, and I do find that that's one of my favorite Let's Plays. I do like one thing by the channels do a good job at doing what is it like compilations. That's the word, compilations, either from like seasons or best ofs. I think they get in the habit of when it comes to this series of games they play, they do like a complete series eventually. But I feel like it makes good background noise too. But I feel like that's one I watch a lot, and a lot of guests or Oni's friends, Oni boys, they have besides Chris O'Neill. Like back in the day, Ding Dong and Julian were regulars, and I really like them as well. They did kind of do a huge recording of episodes when Oni visited them because I believe they moved back to Chicago. I do like Ding Dong a lot. He's I feel like kind of similar personalities with him. I know Ding Dong and Julian have their Wham Wham games and been working on Bippy is a game, so you can always like Google and look that up too. But they kind of, and Julian's more of an artist, animator, stuff like that too. So I really like the OG Oni boys, and then nowadays it's mostly Joshua Tomar. He does some voice acting. And I've been kind of following him as well a lot too. And Lyle Rath. I think that's how he goes by, but kind of cool to be introduced other people. Like other times I had guests like Spaz Kid and I forget his handle, but Dave. I know he works a lot on the Friday Night Funkin' game, but and also of course Psychic Pebbles, Zach Hadel, who's also a big fan of because I really like that pilot that they put out for Smiling Friends, and that's coming out to Adult Swim later this year. So kind of excited about that. But I really like the Only Plays vibe. I know sometimes the humor can be a little, I guess you can say, offensive or trigger sometimes. I know that maybe because what YouTube, how it is, they really edit it down to how it used to be, but certain like words or phrases or insults and stuff like that, or this kind of humor has kind of been cleaned up a little, but I feel like it hasn't been too bad in a sense that they censor what they have to because, I get it. You have to, they want to keep the monetization and stuff like that, so I get it, but I feel like it still stays mostly intact. But moving on, there's the Game Grumps, and that's another Let's Play channel. I think it's one of the longest ones, at least the longest duos. I know back in the day it was Eagle Raptor and Jontron. I have subscribed to his channel, both of their channels as well, so I'll get into them later. But I remember a lot of the Eagle Raptor's cartoons. What you want to call it? Like the Awesome series, a lot of game parodies. They were like his animation style. I don't know that, and he's he's about the same age as me. I was just kind of thinking to myself, I don't want to like give out too many details. Like, this is my birthday, this is my mother's maiden name, stuff like that. Which also getting off on a tangent. I wonder how many content creators and stuff like that get into trouble because they share too much. In terms of, oh, my first car was this brand, or it was this color, or the street I grew up on. So sometimes I wonder how often that comes up, that content creators kind of fall victim of identity theft or something like that. But yeah, Aaron Hansen, Egoraptor, is the same age as me. And then JonTron, I like a lot of his humor, his work. He has his own channel too, and I'll talk to that a little bit later. But now the current co-host, and probably I know they had like 9 years recently, but a little over 8 with Dan Avidan, who's also a lead singer and part of Ninja Sex Party, and also uh, they did the project together, Starbomb, with also Aaron rapping in that too, and Dan singing. So I like a lot of the projects. A lot of humor. I feel like it's changed over time. It's one of the things I can't really put my finger on. I feel like it may be not as immature, but then again, you hear the occasional poop joke and stuff like that too. So it's kind of hard to say the format. I know that they did been recording longer episodes too, and I know back in the day, oh my god, this is probably old Green Brothers fans would remember that they used to do like 3 uploads a day and stuff like that too. So maybe that it's not such a grind to get like so many different episodes out per day per week. So I think maybe that kind of changed the vibe. But yeah, I really enjoyed that Let's Play channel. Next up is Arlo, and he's like the blue puppet Muppet guy. I really like him too because I feel like I have similar vibes, personality as him. I know he covers a lot of Nintendo stuff, talking about Nintendo games. I guess kind of like video essays and stuff like that too. So I kind of just like the format, and it makes good background noise because sometimes, and this is like a more in-depth like game review or game analysis. It makes good background noise, or like you can multitask or whatever, have it on a television. But he does a lot of the Nintendo roundups and talk about Nintendo news and things like that. So I really like him. I think it was checking out, especially if you're a big Nintendo fanboy. Yeah, because again, I feel like I agree with him on a lot of stuff. But also, he also does other stuff I do. Like I know he covered like talked about Resident Evil. He talked about what you want to call it, Monster Hunter. Yes, so he talked about Monster Hunter and things like that too. So it's not like, oh, that's the Nintendo guy, but mostly pretty much he is a Nintendo guy. Next up is CinemaSins. And I don't think that it needs too much background. I think they're a really big channel, but those not to know, it's pretty much. I know the main guy's named Jeremy. I know there's a lot of people involved, and probably had a bunch of like side channels too. But pretty much they kind of like break down a movie, like Senate, and like poke holes in plots, and just kind of poke fun in movies in general. And I think it even got me into that mindset of poking holes, like, hey, why did this happen, or she survives that, or kind of cliches too, like, you gotta take a look at this, stuff like that too. But I haven't really dived deep into other things with the CinemaSins. I guess brand, like I know there's a podcast and other stuff too, but pretty much catch like every time there's everything wrong with video, I always watch it. It's kind of fun, like movies I heard of, movies I kind of wanted to see, or I had no idea what this movie is. I still like enjoy pretty much every episode. And another smaller channel I want to talk about is called Matterbore. And I guess he was the way I came across him is some of his compilations. Like he did a lot of them, like especially really long ones of Game Grumps, Super Mega, Oni Plays. So, and I feel like that makes a lot of good background noise too. I know some of the compilations had some fun edits too that I believe he did, but a lot of it is just like really funny moments in those kind of Let's Play channels. But one thing I feel like it's underrated. I'm not sure the whole spiel with it, but I think with his friends, maybe like a Discord, like watching like TV shows and movies, it's really cut short. So it's really compact. So it's not like a long watch, but some things like watched and kind of poke fun of is like Invincible. They did the Space Jam movie. I think Garfield as well, but it kind of like gives you a vibe, like if you're watching that with a bunch of friends, like the peanut gallery kind of thing. But I feel like it's a little underrated, but I really like the channel, and kind of looking more because sometimes when you go, oh, I'm going to this channel because they do this, and then all of a sudden they do other stuff like, oh, I enjoy that too. So kind of a small blib about that channel. And then there's Super Mega. I mentioned a little earlier, but another one of my favorite Let's Play channels. Like, kind of feel like they have more wackier humor. And I also feel like they mature over time, as Matt Watson and Ryan McGee. Um, I feel like they're. I know I'm older than them to give you some preference. Like I said, I just said I'm Aaron Hansen's age, but I feel like even when they have like talks about being political and stuff like that too, it kind of I don't know. I appreciate their sensibilities and stuff like that. Like they can be silly and stupid, but also have real talk moments about real subjects too. Because they also have the weekly podcast, the Super Mega Cast. I mostly watch it on Spotify because they usually drop it sooner, but they have all those episodes on YouTube as well. And other products too, like they kind of like music bits and skits and live action. Also, the mailroom videos that they do when they get mail from fans is always a fun ride to watch. So I recommend. I think they try to say more of a variety channel than just a Let's Play channel, but it's a really good one. I really like the sense of humor, and looking forward to seeing more stuff. I know they're working on some projects. Like I'm not sure if it's like a fiction book or something like that, but I know they're working on the album too. I know Matt Watson also dropped an album as well, and I believe I'm subscribed to his channel, so I'll mention that a little bit later. But the album, ouch. Moving down, the Game Theorist. I think that is one of the biggest channels that I subscribe to. And I don't think it needs much introduction, but I do like the Theorist channels. I'm probably just going to group all of them together. But, you know, of course, the Game Theorist about video game theories and stuff like that definitely feels like it's gotten better over time. You can watch old videos and it can get a little cringy, but I feel like I'm not sure how soon I watched them after the channel launched, but I feel like I backlog pretty much everything. Although I'm not too big of a fan of the science of, not my cup of tea, but I always catch all the theory videos. And then they have the Film Theorist, which talks about TV shows and movies as well. I feel like which one? I think he jumped between via both channels, talking about YouTube as well, like a lot of like meta YouTube, like how YouTube works or algorithms are being affected by how YouTube is sometimes. So I feel like those are some videos I really like. It's when he gets into more in-depth discussion about YouTube and how it's like making content for YouTube. And also one of the more newer channel from them is the Food Theorist, which I think is really fun too. I think it's a little bit more like, I don't want to say relatable, but kind of like real life stuff. Like they talk about like cooking, this or that, like propane versus charcoal grill, how to get the best bang for your buck at a buffet. And he did a fun one. It's kind of like not really a theory, but he test a bunch of Diet Cokes and Diet Colas and stuff like that too. So kind of fun. I think it's more like interesting without going like too into like fiction or lore and stuff like that. So I love all three of those channels. I know he has a streaming GT Live, which I don't really watch too much, and watch some of the VODs, but one of the things I don't really keep up on. Next channel on my list, Did You Know Gaming, and that's pretty self-explanatory. A lot of fun factoid videos, usually with certain themes, like either like a franchise or a platform or a system or console. I know they have a clips channel too, and I feel like they did some big compilations of the like collective of all the videos in that too. Like they have like a really long one for like Pokemon or Sonic or Super Mario, but a lot of fun like game stuff, and they do talk about other stuff too. Like there's some really good episodes about game developers. Like I think they did Reggie Fils-Aimé or whatever, the previous Nintendo president of America, and like Sakurai, and oh god, I'm so bad with names. I think Iwata too. But yeah, a lot of fun. So it's not like just about the games, but a lot of stuff I haven't heard of. Some stuff you might have heard of too. But I think it's fun to watch. I think some of the long compilations make good background noise too. Next, I mentioned Normal Boots. A lot of those guys, names probably come up a little bit later too. But it's like more like a gaming channel. I know they just recently kind of revived stuff with it. Like they did like tiers, like ring tiers of game related, like Super Mario 64 levels or best Super Mario games. I think they did Mario Kart weapons. They did that, but I feel like that's some of the main ones. I know that they did like a Minecraft thing, which I'm not really into, but another like video game discussion content, whatever show. Next is Kid Icarus. I feel like I watched a lot of his videos back then. I had like a big falling out, and then recently resubscribed. I feel like his content's getting a lot better, more, I guess, funnier and kind of like more edited too. But some of the videos are really long too. But I think he's also known for a lot of good in-depth like Crash Bandicoot videos. I feel like a lot of Sony uh, content is his channel's kind of vibe, because you get your ones that are more like Nintendo heavy or more Pokemon heavy or stuff like that. So I think Kid Icarus is a lot of like Sony stuff, and yeah, pretty good one just to watch checking out. So I kind of enjoyed his humor, and I feel like you get just getting back into it kind of thing, because you have these days that times where you can like I can watch YouTube all day, and then all of a sudden like, well, I can't watch everything, and kind of like pick and choose. And next up is the Completionists, another gaming channel, and I pretty watch that. I know I like a lot of his like top 10 videos too and list, but the big gimmick is his completionist video where they talk about like completing a full game and kind of ranking it. Think, should you beat it, play it, complete it? I think it's fun to watch because I think a lot of times, I would say I'm kind of an avid gamer, but kind of cool to just kind of watch content for games I'm probably not going to play or enter to play, and I'm probably not going to play and get all 100% content. So it's kind of neat to see that kind of full deep dive into that game and all that. Yeah, Gerald the Completionist is his name. I think he did stuff with Normal Boots. I know back in the day there was more people more involved, but they kind of switched things up. I'm not sure the whole story, but I think he was part of Normal Boots, if not still. And a quick little blurb, because this guy's showing on my list, TV Sins. Pretty much Cinema Sins, but with TV shows. So a pretty fun one to watch. I know they have a different narrator, so it's a little different in sense, and of course a lot shorter since it's usually an episode versus a whole movie, but kind of fun to watch. And then Screen Junkies is one I followed in. I feel like that's one of the channels that a lot of people know or heard of. I kind of just watched for the honest trailers. I believe they like have a lot of other content as well, but I haven't really gotten into it. But yeah, I kind of just enjoyed the kind of humor and honest trailers and stuff like that too. So that's a little spiel with that channel. And next up on my list is Pro Jared, and I like him a lot. I feel like a lot of common interests, like when it comes to the games and JRPGs. I really like its ongoing series with kind of a deep dive into Final Fantasy games and other content as well. I'm trying to think how long, maybe like once a month he'll upload or whatever, but I feel like over time a lot more work has gone into his videos, but don't follow too much like with his gameplay channel or Twitch stream, but especially like the Final Fantasy like deep dive videos I really like. I think as of this recording, he's about to dive into 9, because I think 8 recently released, but can't wait to see the last few titles he talks about. Next one, Robert Ross, and that's Ross O'Donovan. I'm not sure if he's technically still part of the Game Grumps officially. He's still, really good friends with them and all that, but back in the day, he did Steam Train as a little show on Game Grumps with Dan. His channel, I think a lot of it is just like highlights of his Twitch streams. Sometimes it's a little hit and miss for me. Like I don't watch like every video. I know he had a lot of fun animations back in the day. Yeah, seems like a pretty cool guy. So I think it's always worth checking out. And next, a channel called Nothing But Lag, and that is run by a guy named Justin. He's actually the editor of Super Mega currently. And I really like his sense of humor. I feel like his channel is a lot of like short videos, so like maybe quote unquote shit post with kind of fun editing. I really like the one he did recently about the Papa's John chair contest. It's worth checking out, but it's kind of like a little funny, like I don't really get into like TikToks, and never got really Vine back in the day. But I feel like for short, stupid videos, I kind of we like this channels and its vibe. So like the guy, like his style and stuff like that too. But worth checking out. Nothing but lag. And next is Dark Simpsons. I talked about this before in my cartoons podcast, so I don't really need to explain too much. But the quick summary is pretty much this guy takes clips from The Simpsons to kind of edit his own narrative, usually a little bit more darker, like the channel name suggests, kind of more like sex and violence and like death and murder and stuff like that too, but other stuff too. And he recently, like the recent upload as of this recording, was about Futurama, but it was still on the channel. So I'm wondering if he's going to do like other Matt Groening shows, like more Futurama. Not sure if he's going to do a side channel or anything like that, but I find that hilarious. Trying to favorite, I think I have my favorites list public, and I favorite some of those videos too. And I think that's worth checking out if I'm forgetting something. But yeah, definitely worth checking out. The next JonTron show, again, that's it was part of the Game Grumps from a good part of the first year. Like his sense of humor, I feel like his older videos were more video game focused versus his newer ones are more. I don't know. It's kind of hard to describe it, but it kind of like for example, he does like some infomercial or product, or there was one about the good one was I liked it was about the Soldier Boy like console or something like that. They had the flex tape one that was a good episode too. So that's like, and there was one about like workplace safety videos. So I don't know. It's kind of hard to really describe the content nowadays, but definitely worth watching it. I love the humor and just kind of like come across stuff you never really heard of in terms of recent line. Because I feel like some of his older stuff, besides video games, were like some like animated movies that you probably never heard of, and kind of like his reaction or synopsis of it. So definitely one worth checking out is new and older stuff. And also, I know for Halloween he did like Goosebumps a couple times, so kind of get like recaps of those Goosebumps episode too. So worth checking out. Next, Nintendo. I don't really watch every video of Nintendo. I kind of like having it in my news feed when it has like an announcement for this game trailer or release date revealed or launch trailer. So I kind of like just being subscribed to Nintendo to see what's coming out, because I know they have like the Nintendo Power podcast, which I never watched. Not sure if it's like all the other stuff is worth checking out, but especially like when having the Nintendo Direct, and I'm definitely tuning into Nintendo. But I feel like that's a good channel to subscribe to, not if not just to have it in your feed. And next, Peanut Butter Gamer. He's part of No Roots. Talk about a lot of games. I think more of a Nintendo kind of vibe, but some of his funny videos I like is like when he gets a bunch of good games from Goodwill and things like that. And I haven't seen much of his like side channel Peebs. I know he does a lot of like Twitch streaming too, but kind of a fun one to watch if you like a game or two. Peanut Butter Gamer. Next, Foot of a Ferret. And I first learned about this content creator through Game Theory, because I know back in the day he did like the brief history of and about all the games. I feel like that's got better over time, like the format with the history of, but I feel like he hasn't really done much with that. I guess you can say show, for lack of a better word. Some of his more recent content is like describing like cartoons, like a lot of like old. I want to say that old, like Gravity Falls and Steven Universe and cartoons like that, and kind of like analysis or reviews. And some of his like recent one was like pretending it's not over. Another one show I haven't really watched, but he talks about it a few times, is Phineas and Ferb. So it's really like talking about like cartoons and things like that. And also a lot of when Animal Crossing New Horizons came out, he did quite a handful of videos of that. And next one on my list is Wrath Club. And that has Lyle Wrath, like you mentioned, as part of Oni's Plays. I'm not sure how to really describe this channel in a sense. I feel like there's been gaps between content. I haven't really looked so much at the older stuff, but I know there's some funny like animation bits and cartoons. Yeah, because I'm looking at no, that's just a featured. I'm not sure um, how long. I feel like maybe there's more freaking uploads than it used to be, but God, I can't remember the other channel that he did this on. But there's a show he did called Pre-Game Discharge. What is it? Oh, let me look it up real quick. Okay, Destructoid. That was the name of the channel because I think he did quite a few. But he did like a good best of called Volume One. I think that's really good. But it's pretty much like gaming news in a nutshell. But I really like the editing and comedy of it. But really like Lyle's Wrath content, and I feel like since E3 2021, they're gonna try to bring back pre-game discharge a lot more often. But kind of a weird variety channel just to kind of check out. And next is Ill Will Press, and what's his name? Is it Jonathan Mathers? Is the guy? Um, Jim Mathers. I forgot. Sorry, but yeah, Jim Mathers. I believe just kind of looking at the info of the channel, but no, for the filmy cartoons, which I like. I remember growing up back in the day. I feel like Newgrounds was the place to watch that, and then I actually did buy the DVDs and all that. Even watching with friends in high school and stuff like that too. Um, but there's also other series he did. I think he uploaded. I know he was kind of like archiving some of the most older ones. Um, like this Four White Records was kind of a fun little series, and all that. But Neurotically Yours, the one with Foamy the Squirrel, especially like the rants they do is pretty good. And then he does like streaming. I believe he streams on Twitch as the platform, and he uploads the VODs on YouTube as well. So, a Pumpkin Guy, he does like a little puppet. So, Pumpkin Guy is like another character, and I would like the artwork of that too. So, a lot of fun stuff, so worth checking out. The next one is an animation channel. Cass Vanderpool is the name. But he does a bunch of like the ultimate recap of a lot of animated movies, like for example, the SpongeBob movie, Madagascar, Emperor's New Groove, or some recent one. I feel like the Lion King is one of the bigger ones. Whoa, 50 million views for the Lion King. I'll say like Frozen. It does like a lot of Disney, Pixar's, and things like that. I feel like I think there was like an update video. I think he's gonna do more like game stuff as well, because there was one for Super Mario 64. But I really like his humor. It's not for kids, but it's a bunch of kids movies. Because I remember seeing tweets like how his videos get flagged for kids and unable to monetize. Or I don't so much about that, but for his channel, I like the animation style and things like that. Next one, a really big YouTube channel, the Odd Ones Out. I know one of his more bigger videos were the Subway. I talk about how he used to work at a Subway. A lot of fun. Like I think it's kind of funny that he's probably, I'm not sure how old the guy is. I'm spacing out on his name. What is the Odd One Out name? Oh well, too lazy to look it up. But I feel like someone like a lot of his videos. Like sometimes it's just like thoughts about certain subjects or advice or words of wisdom. But he has talked about like even like movies as a kid, or I think some of the fun. Looking at his popular uploads, like the one about roommates, the one about calls from wrong numbers, buying clothes. I feel like you can't go wrong, so I think it's definitely worth checking out if you never came across it. I know sometimes when it comes to these story time animators or animation, they kind of feel like those are for kids or younger audience. I feel like you can get a lot of enjoyment of it, so I definitely recommend if you like more simple animation. Well, I say simple animation, but I feel like a lot of effort goes into these videos as well. But yeah, I definitely worth checking out. Another animation channel, Terminal Montage. I liked it a lot. They're kind of like wacky and sporadic and crazy. I know a lot of them say like loud noise warning or light warning in a lot of the titles, but a lot of like video game stuff like Mario, Star Fox, Smash Bros, Legend of Zelda. Just a fun. It's kind of hard to like really describe it, but I did really like his recent upload about Mega Man X Storm Eagle's Revenge because it has a really good remix of the Storm Eagles theme. Um, yeah, I think this is just a lot of fun animation, and a lot of times it's not like too much dialogue, like maybe just a little bit or sound bites, but a very fun, chaotic channel. Next is Ninja Six Party. Like I mentioned with Game Grumps, Ninja Six Party is their main channel, and it pretty much posts like all the music videos and fun to catch up on. I know the more recent one, the Mystic Crystal, was probably the biggest video yet, worth checking out, and a lot of good work with that. So not too much to say besides like check it out if you like. And I don't think I really mentioned that if you had never heard of Ninja Six Party. It's kind of like a comedic band, a comedy band, so very fun. But I feel like over time the music has been like instead of like I think that's a funny song I enjoy versus even if it's that's a humor and comedy in that song, that song rips like it rocks and all that. So I feel like there's a lot more like I like the music for the music versus like the comedy bit and the whole package. So I don't know if that makes sense, but I do like how they change over time, like evolve, I guess you can say. But worth checking out. Next one is Fox Jam, and I feel like this is a smaller animator. I'm just pulling it now, and it barely has over 100 subscribers. I actually came across this one for his Only Plays animation. Actually, his channel, at least looking at his uploads, is less than a year old. But I also like he did the first JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, like a condensed version. I like the summary. I feel like he does like his own animated bits too, like his own original content. Some pop culture stuff too. Um, but yeah, worth checking out. Maybe more bigger things in the future. But a little shout out to it. Well, I say small channel, but I don't. I'm like a microscopic one in comparison. Okay, no, Jaden Animations is another one I like. It another big one, and Storytime Animations. But I feel like it's really fun. I almost kind of feel like um, it's my little sister, like tell me stories kind of thing. Like that. That makes sense. I'm not sure if that's why some of these Storytime videos, whether animated or not, have that appeal. Like it feels like it's a family member, or friend, and you just like listening. But I feel like a lot of her content's like summarizing video games, a lot of like childhood stories too. So very fun stuff. Then I mentioned it before, but Ego Raptor is a good channel, especially if you like all his old cartoons. Also, that Aaron Hansen did was the sequelitis. Very small, like I'm looking, he only did like 4 uploads, but I really like that series. And I kind of wish he would go back to that, but I'm sure he's a very, very busy guy. Um, yeah, it's kind of like fun, like video essays, kind of comparison of games in the sequel and things like that. And then, of course, there's the Starbomb music videos. So all the Starbomb music videos get uploaded to his Ego Raptor channel. And this is getting kind of long, so I kind of want to power through this. So there's the Jay Witz is a kind of a Nintendo fanboy channel too. A lot like Pokemon stuff, but it's like video games and stuff like that too. Especially Nintendo. This is the Jay Witz. Ding Dong. I like I said, he's from Oni Plays. A lot of his videos are kind of like shit posts, but I kind of like his update video. He did a really funny one about G4 needs talent. He did some film festivals with 3D Movie Maker. Um, so yeah, worth checking out. I know he has a streaming channel too. With I don't think he streams very much nowadays, but he did put some of his VODs on his stream channel. Hot Diggity Demon, a lot of funny cartoons, animation, and then he has his brain dump show, which is pretty funny too. So worth checking out. And then there's one called the Master Sword, and it does a lot of like remixes and music, like taken from uh, like bits from like Let's Play channels. Like he did some for Game Grumps and Only Plays and Super Mega. So kind of a cool music channel. So I'm not sure if it's like Senior Palo or Sir Palo, SR space Palo. Fun animation channel. He does like this silly like Mickey Disney cartoons with like Moki Mouse and kind of like parodies like that, as well as the spooky month with like the pumpkin and skeleton guy. So a good one. There's of course like Matt Watson's video channel I mentioned. Kind of new stuff. Not sure if he's gonna drop more on that channel. There's also the Grumps channel, it's a side channel for Game Grumps. It's been kind of in hiatus because that's where they had the 10-minute power hour, kind of like the live action one. Skipping through. Did you know food? I'm not sure if there's going to be more of this. This is kind of from Normal Boots as well, but I feel like it's been like a year since the upload. But worth checking out, like kind of like a fun factoid channel based on food, like fast food places and things like that. Even though this is kind of a dead channel, but Sleepy Cabin is a fun one. Let's put like a lot of the Oni Boys had podcast on, like Chris O'Neill, Psychic Pebbles, Zach, Tomar, a lot of other people too. So it's kind of a fun little time capsule. But I'm pretty sure that there's no plans to make content. Going on, Uric Salad Bar is one I really wanted to mention. It's a really fun channel. I first came across that based on his Oni Plays animation, but he does a lot of really good video essays and all of that. So worth checking out, like some games he talked about. He talked about Life is Strange a few times. Omari, Lisa the Painful, of Scott Pilgrim, Y2K, sometimes called Yeek, the modern postmodern RPG. So definitely worth checking his channel out. This David Firth, I really like his animations. I think he's gonna do more with Burnt Face Man, but I know his big thing was Salad Fingers. So worth checking out. It's kind of like weird, and eerie, and surreal. So worth checking out. I'm not sure that ever gonna come with that, but this Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. And it had like a teaser called Wakey Wakey 2 years ago, but I'm not sure what's ever going to happen with that. And the last few ones, you can always view my subscriptions going to my info about or whatever. My channel, because a lot of these I'm just kind of skipping through because a lot of them are kind of dead channels too. But one last one I really want to mention is Rice Pirate, and he did a lot of like animations, kind of like game parodies as well. Some of my favorite ones. Like Sonic's the Hodgehead. That's a really good one. But lately he's been working on his passion project inspired by JoJo. He's a big fan. Actually, he's one of the reasons why I got into JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But he has a fan project, you can say, called Blood Sun Vendetta, which he's working on. So worth checking out if you like the art style, but you can tell he cares about it a lot and fun to look at. So definitely check his channel out. And that will do for this podcast. Kind of ran a little bit long for what I wanted to talk about. But yeah, check these channels out. Check out my channel. And if you like, comment below what channels you feel are worth following. I know I was going to talk about channels I used to watch on YouTube, but this is getting kind of long, so maybe I'll bring it up another day. Someone can remind me if that's the case, but I think that's going to wrap things up. So appreciate the listen. Subscribe, comment below, all that good stuff, and hope everyone has a good day, and I'll see you around. Bye. Actually, random thing. I don't know why I've been noticing this, but I feel like every time I end a podcast, it's like ending a phone call with my mom or something like that, or a friend or family member. So I'm not sure if this is a good sign off I can say. So I can just say, yeah, whatever. Bye.